What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in this video today, this is going to be a little bit more of a discussion video in regards to what we could potentially see for the 11th anniversary. And in my opinion, a little bit of a tinfoil hat theory, I think Bandai may have accidentally teased what we could be seeing for the 11th anniversary. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to show some stuff in game because the tag functionality is in game. If you guys didn't see my dedicated video for when version 15 first dropped, where we kind of went through all of the details in game, we're going to be using the filter functionality to have a look at some stuff very shortly. So one of the big things as to why I'm making this video is because it got me thinking, like, with all of these new updates, what are we actually going to see for the anniversary? We already made a dedicated video in regards to what are the likely scenarios. Let's go ahead and have a look, right? So the thing that got me thinking was when they made the initial posts about version 15, right? One of the things that kind of caught my eye was the character tag, and it was actually this screenshot right here. Now, right at the bottom, it mentions Navy, Straw Hat Pirates, and Paramecia, however you want to mention it. And I feel like this would be a pretty fitting way to show off the category system, the character tag system for the 11th anniversary, having a dedicated character drop for every single tag. Now, if I just show you this and say, hey, they're going to make 11th anniversary based on these three tags, which three characters do you think they'd select? I'm pretty sure most people could come up with, a pretty good array of characters, but let's go ahead and jump into things. Let's start off with the first character. I think it's a no-brainer at this point that a lot of people feel like Borsalino is going to be an anniversary character. Now, look, all I have to say is that while this is a very likely scenario, it might not also be the case either. I mean, heck, look at last year's 10th anniversary. I don't think anyone would have predicted having Gear 5 Luffy, Shanks, and then also having the Navy Ace, right? Now, speaking of Navy, if we actually go over into the game right now, this is the Navy tag. And what do you see right here? We have the Portgas D Ace from the 10th anniversary, fittingly is also the Navy tag, which is pretty dope. Actually, that is his only tag. That's actually kind of surprising. I guess I'm not really 100% sure what exactly this is all about, because I guess technically during this timeline, I guess, Ace doesn't have his Devil Fruit, and neither does Sabo, so he's not classified as a Logia. So he's just going to be a Navy type character, which is really interesting. Now, if they do go on to release a new Borsalino, especially if he's shooter focused, this character is going to have fantastic synergy with a character such as that. But have a look at the other characters you've got. You've got Corazon, you've got all the Legend Garps, of course. You've even got the Film Red Kobe, who's pretty good. And the other Kobe here as well, of course he is. You've got the Honesty Impact Kobe. Super Tandem Sengoku. You've got the V2 Sakazuki, of course. Obviously, not a lot of the characters actually have their tags right now. There's a plenty of other characters that should be on the Navy tag that don't currently have it. Maybe what they'll do is when the 11th anniversary drops, if they end up going down this route of having like 3 major tags they're going to focus on, maybe they'll add more characters to the tag. Of course, the batch that will come alongside with these new legends, of course, will probably have the tags of this as well. So we'll see. I mean, potentially all 3 of them maybe having the Egghead tag could also help in regards to making them synergize together, where if you need like their main tag, plus they also work with Egghead, so they can still work with a variety of other units, that could also be something on the agenda too. But just having a think about some of these characters that we could see being used in the future would be pretty interesting. Legend Smoker, obviously not a great unit, but if he gets a 6+, that's definitely going to help him out. But the surprising thing, I guess it really shouldn't be a surprise, but it is cool to see that that Ace from the 10th anniversary is a Navy character. So if they do end up working with Navy in the future, that Ace is going to be a premier unit to be using on those types of squads. So let's go ahead now and have a look back at what we're looking at. So when we look at the tags, right, Straw Hat Pirates, I don't think many people are surprised that Straw Hat Pirates are one of the tags considered, and I think that it's I wouldn't say it's guaranteed, but I feel like it's a pretty good shot at it being either a solo Gear 5 Luffy, or it's going to be an Egghead Luffy that will somehow transform into Gear 5 Luffy. One of the two. My assumption is it's going to be like giant Gear 5 Luffy against Kizaru. That would be my guess. So we'll have to wait and see exactly, but I'm really excited to see what they have in store, and they're probably going to have action specials as well, which should be kind of interesting to see how they play out. So let's go ahead and switch over now and have a look at what we could see in regards to the Straw Hat Pirates tag. Now, obviously, it's not really much of a surprise. Straw Hat Pirates, one of the most represented categories in the game. You've got a lot of good characters here, of course. A lot of the good Straw Hats, of course. You got Sober Mask, who recently got that that's 6+. You've even got characters like Sanji and Pudding, who's going to be kind of nice to have. The thing is, of course, that you won't be able to use other Luffys unless you use them as a friend captain, so that's going to be kind of tough. You've even got characters like Zoro Sanji, which if we go focus on free spirit, then, you know, Zoro Sanji stay winning. Even Robin and Jinbei, we all know how good they are. Luffy versus Kaido would still technically consider, you know, being able to be used as a friend captain, of course. With every major celebration, getting a Gear 5 Luffy it's kind of tough because, you know, all of the other previous Gear 5 Luffys kind of get, you know, power crept in a way. Like a New Year's Luffy, we haven't had that many use cases for him, and if he's just going to get power crept by yet another Luffy, that's just going to feel super bad. I mean, it's an anniversary. I'm fully expecting there to be a new Luffy during this anniversary period. However, the fact that it's a very good chance of being a Gear 5 is a little underwhelming because we've just kind of been Gear 5'd out in a way because we just received so many of them. This little artwork animation is so cool. I really hope that we get this for the anniversary in terms of a little character animation when we click on the unit. The waifus, I forgot about them. This character is going to be receiving a 6+ during this celebration. If you guys didn't pick up this unit Super Evolution during the New Year's period, their Super Evolution skulls will be available during the next Kizuna Clash that occurs in May of 2025. So that's going to be perfect. Hopefully this unit will work with those units. We'll have to wait and see what they have in store for us. But of course, these are just the Sugofest exclusives. Other Sugofest exclusive, Legend Nami, obviously still pretty good. The previous 10th anniversary Luffy, obviously strong as well. But then, of course, you got like all the other Straw Hats. The size Straw Hats, of course, are going to be nice to use with them as well. But again, not every Straw Hat is represented here. This is just a finite group of characters that you can use with these units. A lot of the Rumble Rare recruits also have the tags on them as well. So, oh, that's interesting as well. Even Sunny-kun. Sunny-kun is still considered a Straw Hat Pirate. That's interesting. Straw Hat Pirate CP0 for Bluno, Heart Pirates for Beppo, Parramia as well, Mink. Yeah, that's kind of cool. This character has so many tags. I guess Chopper's in the background there, but I don't think this character is classified as a Chopper character. But either way, that's the Straw Hat Pirates tag. I don't think there's really much surprise here. I think that the character that drops for the anniversary is pretty much going to be leading Straw Hat Pirates. I don't think that's much of a surprise. It should be happening, but again, we'll wait and see. Maybe something crazy will come out along the lines for the anniversary. We don't know yet. And then finally, we have one other character to talk about, which if we go back to the tag screen here, the Parramia type, you could have a lot of different characters for this one, but obviously because of what we have here, I think a new Legend Bonnie would make a ton of sense. So Parramia would be a really nice one because, as I said, there's a lot of characters in the game that have the Parramia Devil Fruit. Obviously not being a Logia, not being a Zoan type, just, you know, generic abilities that are not an element or an animal are Parramia type. So there's a lot of those in the game. So if we switch over to the game right now, these are all the characters that do have Parramia type. Now, of course, Legend Kuma could also be a potential option, could even be an anniversary style unit. We'll have to wait and see. But you've got so many characters in this category that that could just work perfectly here. Like Guild Tesoro would be awesome. You've got Magellan. Who else? I mean, Legend Sugar as well is pretty sick. Katakuri, my boy, Mr. Slam Jam. You love to see it. You love to see it. Shirahoshi and Mancherry. That's dope to see as well. Legend Kid, of course. You got a bunch of Luffys because he is a Parramia type. Well, he is technically a Parramia type, but he's also actually. Let me go to Psy Gear 5 Luffy real quick. Is he in this category? I don't see him unless if he was when he transforms into Gear 5. I guess he's not considered at that point a Parramia type. He's a mythical Zoan. So okay, that's good good flavor there that they've actually done that. So any other Luffy before Gear 5 is considered a Parramia type. That's interesting actually. Either way, but you got so many different units. Cross Guild as well. Wow, this category is kind of cracked. You got Trafalgar Law, of course, and again, those are just the Sugofest exclusives. If we go past that, you got a bunch of units here as well. So I think that the Parramia type category or character tag is going to be pretty well supported. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. So I think that, you know, if we have a character that is solely focused on buffing, like the Parramia type characters, that this would be a really high tier character. Whereas like Navy, as we kind of talked about at the start of the video, Navy doesn't have as much representation. However, they could kind of offset it with all of these units by buffing their main character tag as well as Egghead. So if we go over to Egghead real quick, which I think is quite a good chance of happening. Egghead should be here somewhere. No, we're gonna have to search it. Okay, Egghead. Egghead. And because a lot of these categories are, you know, targeting more recent characters, Egghead has a pretty good representation thus far. Of course, some of these characters also have overlap with some of the other categories that we've talked about, being Navy, being Straw Hat Pirates, being Paramecia type. So a lot of good representation here as well for this category. Even some random units like Shanks versus Kid, even though that character is an Egghead unit, the character, that scene happened during the Egghead arc, which is why that character is going to be on this category. Same with Blackbeard versus Law, same with V3 Rayleigh, which is interesting. You've even got some of the Kuzan units, you got that the CP0 Rob Lucci, all of the Seraphim, of course. So yeah, really cool stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see overall what they have planned for the 11th anniversary, because they could go in a ton of different directions. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. What are you expecting for One Piece Treasure Cruise's 11th anniversary down below in the comment section? So moving forward from now, we are still going to be receiving an end of month batch. Really interested to see what they do for that, considering a lot of the month celebration was focused around Zoro's enemies, Zoro's foes, and then during the Kazuna Clash, we pivot to the Reverie. So is the end of month batch going to be back to Zoro? Is it going to be Reverie? Is it going to be Egghead? Is it going to be like pre-anniversary stuff? Maybe the end of month batch has something to do with the 11th anniversary. We'll have to wait and see, because remember, the PKA season is going to be available throughout the entire month, so I would expect that the 11th anniversary units are going to be able to tackle the PKA that come out as well. Again, there's a lot of different questions that we just don't have enough answers to, but I am excited to see what they have in store. Hopefully you enjoyed it though. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.